First, I do want to start with the fact that we have heard from quite a number of business leaders in the last 18 hours, given the events we did see on Capitol Hill. As the CEO of a major company that does operate here in the U.S., what's your reaction?
Yeah, yesterday we were shocked. And our instincts when something big happens in this country are always, initially at least, twofold. First, make sure our people are safe, which we did immediately. And second, make sure our network is operating to keep people safe, the public safe and connected. But of course, the second instinct right after that is to have something to say. And our first words were to our own people. I immediately reached out to all nearly 80,000 of our people yesterday afternoon to make it clear that when something like this happens, we have to denounce it. The violent disruption of our sacred democratic processes, that has to be denounced. At the same time, we can support people's right out in the plaza to peacefully protest. But what we saw yesterday wasn't that. And, it's so important in 21 as we start this year and move towards this peaceful transition of power, which is an incredibly sacred, historic thing that we do in this country. We have got to learn to be able to disagree with each other without hating each other. And the vitriol that's on social media right now and the way people express themselves, we've got to learn how to speak with each other and listen to each other in this country.
Yeah, I mean, you just touched on something that I think has been quite a debate within boardrooms and probably C-suites, which is, how outspoken should a CEO or the leader of a company be in the midst of all of this? I mean, certainly your predecessor, John Ledger, was pretty outspoken on quite a number of issues when he was in your position. I wonder, though, when you see there's a sense out there, perhaps, that, if rioters can breach the Capitol building, then what is potentially safe? I mean, rule of law is one of those key pillars, I think, that makes America great and makes America so great in terms of competitiveness as a place for business. Does this chip away at that sense of certainty, that sense of rule of law here in the U.S.?
Of course it does. And I think that's why we were all so shocked, to see the steps of our Capitol, the chambers of our Capitol occupied by people attempting to disrupt our democratic processes. Of course that shocks us. But at the same time, we have to turn the page and we have to each ask ourselves what we can do to make sure that we defend those processes going forward. And it's going to take a different kind of discourse in this country. Being able to listen to each other, being able to find common ground. What we saw yesterday was extremism. But in this country, there are great ideas on both sides of the political spectrum. And, we need a political leadership that wants to listen. And, I'm certainly add my voice to the many that say, the people have spoken and it's time for this country, to move forward behind new leadership. And, that's exactly what's going to happen here in 2 weeks.
So President-elect Biden becomes president later this month. In the midst of everything that we saw happen down in D.C. yesterday, we did see 2 Democratic senators elected in Georgia as well. What does not only a Biden administration, but also now a democratically controlled Congress mean for business for you and also for the telecom industry more broadly?
Well, we've been here before. This company at T-Mobile, we're 8 years into a historic turnaround and success run. And just do the math. That means for 4 of those years, we were exceeding and outpacing everyone in this industry under the Obama administration. And in 4 years, we've been doing amazing things under the Trump administration. So, our model is sticky. Our business is so simple and straightforward. It's about building great networks, connecting with people, and outgrowing the competition. That's what we've been doing reliably and consistently under 2 different administrations over the past 8 years.
Mike, it's David Faber. Getting to the numbers you put out in terms of preliminary fourth quarter, postpaid net customer additions, 1.6 million. Postpaid phone net customer additions, 824,000. Very strong numbers. But I do wonder, looking lately at the quarterly numbers, in the second quarter, for example, Charter added more customers than you guys did. Is cable a real competitor and becoming a real competitor to you, Charter, and, of course, our parent company, Comcast?
Of course, we take everybody seriously at this company. But that's why we're the growth leaders. 5.5 million postpaid accounts in 2020, the most in our company's history. We were so proud to announce that. One of the things you see about our model, David, is when it's hyper competitive, we find a way to succeed. When it's more moderate, we find a way to succeed. And, we show that by reliably executing quarter after quarter. the last couple of quarters, there's been a muted switching environment as retail hasn't been a place people want to be. And yet we've been able to post some of the most impressive growth numbers in our history. And it just shows the way our team executes. It also shows the emerging leadership potential that we have in the network arena in this country. And that's something that we've never had before, a company simultaneously able to offer the best value and the best network.
Yeah.
That just goes really well.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.